Welcome back, guys. It's starting to get there, isn't it? Look at all the stuff going on. The planes, all the... I mean, these look so much better in the distance now that they're upgraded with all these different wagons. Still a lot to upgrade, though. I am getting around to it. I've upgraded some more. Right, what are we going to do? I was looking at this and I was thinking, you know what? This isn't building out here. And I wonder if adding some transport around here would kind of help make it grow a bit. Be kind of nice, wouldn't it? So let's see if we can do that. So let's take out this. Don't let that depot go away and get rid of the bit in the middle. There we go. Right. So we're going to finally be utilising this little slip road down here. That'll be fun. Oh, great. I get to build another bridge. Oh, God. No. No. Don't build another bridge, Skye, for God's sake. Oh, man. I think we might be able to get away with a tunnel. And there was much freaking rejoicing. Oh, it's time-lapse time now. I enjoy this bit. This is a bit where I get to sit here and drink tea and relax while Manic Skye does all his building. Oh, I tell you one thing I can tell you about. If you look up in the top left-hand corner, which I'm sure many of you will have noticed, there's that red frames per second counter. Now that's the frames per second that my recording software is recording at. And you're probably wondering, well, why has that suddenly appeared? Well, I got a new version of my recording software. I use Bandicam, and I can't turn the damn thing off. There is an option to turn it off, and I've got it turned off, but for some reason it's showing. I don't know why. So I will keep working on that. I'll try and get that removed. Although I'm sure some of you actually kind of like seeing it up there. The other thing is, several people have commented and said, "Oh, the frame rate's not that great. I kind of never gets above 30." Yeah, that's because I record at 30 frames per second. So the software is actually the recording software, not the game, but the recording software is limited. I actually have an option on there to limit it to 30 frames per second. So even though the game's running at more than 30 frames per second, the video software will never show more than 30 frames per second because it doesn't record more than 30 frames per second. Man, how many times can you say 30 frames per second in 2 minutes? Right. So yeah, I'm slapping in this this tram line, and I'm coming up to a spot. Look at that. Look at that. This looks like a spider's web, that one junction. But this is where I had some trouble. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't put in a bus stop here. And then eventually I spotted that I got a waypoint there. So I moved the waypoint out of the way, and I still couldn't get a freaking bus stop in there. So eventually I had to get rid of the waypoint completely. But everything still seemed to work when I got rid of that. So we'll see. We'll see if that causes any problems. This ring road, I actually enjoy putting this in. This was kind of fun. I'm really getting into like the whole detail thing, especially in Biggleswade. I love Biggleswade, but the more detail I put in, the more I'm kind of appreciating. Because like I you know, riding around on trains and stuff like that, and just generally being in the environment, it's so much nicer now than it used to be. There's always stuff to see, there's always stuff to look at, there's always like trains or trucks or airplanes or nice scenery or whatever to look at. So what I'm doing here, I put this bus station, I made a bit of a feature out of that bus station. It's almost like a little park over there. And I put in like one route that goes clockwise and then anti-clockwise, and that's why I put the bus station in, so that there's a turnaround spot. But it worked out really well. I really like that bus station. Alrighty, we're coming up to the end now. I'll hand you back to Manic Skye. Okay, go. Now, do you want to have a ride? Do you want to have a ride? Go on. Let's have a ride around the Biggleswade Ring Road. and have a look, because sometimes you see stuff which is. Let's have it on kind of medium speed, I think, for this, and I think we're going to go. I think we're going to go first person for this. A first person tram ride. Oh my lord. So we come down the hill. We've got the airport on our right hand side, down here. I've got to say, I'm kind of tempted to slow this down, and I'm going to slow it down. We're going to do this in normal speed. It looks a lot when you're first person, like in towns. It's like on the trains you really want double speed, but in towns I think this is better. Look at all the lovely bus lanes. Oh look, there's the goods that have been dropped in the road. They just chuck it. Oh, it's obviously DHL. No, it's not. Well, you know, I had some packages. I've had quite a lot of packages delivered recently because of like the whole vaping thing, and which is going brilliantly, by the way. Still haven't had a cigarette. What are we up to? We're getting on for 3 months now. 3 months without cigarette. Staggering. But yeah, the one time I had, and it was a reasonably expensive item. Oh, I say reasonably expensive. It was like. It's like 100 quid, so like what's like $120, $130 or whatever. And they left the package. I live in an apartment block, and they left it on the freaking ground floor. And I'm not on the ground floor. And I only spotted it by accident. Unfreaking believable. They just left it there. Anybody could have picked that up. Oh well, that's my bitching about deliveries. The town, I gotta say, the town's looking good. This look like, you look through areas like this, it's like that could be a real place. That could be a real place. That's not a real beard, but this is, you know, could be a real place. Why have we stopped here for an hour? Why have we stopped? Why have we stopped? Oh, it just, I don't know, driver's taking a break. Maybe he needed to pee. There was a tree there, so it's possible. The trams need to space out a bit. But other than that, this is all looking pretty damn good so far. Definitely some delays though. Where it's stop. Why are you stopping? What's the delay? Get a move on. There we go. That's better. Dodge the traffic. Oh, those! I loved riding around and seeing the trucks that we've got. Then we're up the hill. I've got to say the roads are pretty good. Considering the terrain that we're building on, I mean, because this is a hilly map, and I have kind of let the towns evolve kind of naturally. I haven't tried to terraform too much. In fact, I've tried to terraform like as little as I possibly can, and the roads are in like fairly good condition, I think. Little bit of a downslope there, but I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. Now we're on the opposite side of the tracks, and this is what's going to be interesting to see if this will develop now. It'll be very, very interesting to see, because it's got passenger access as well as having access to freight. This might grow. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. We'll see. It might take a little while, but I should probably have a go over this with the smoothing before it starts building stuff, if it's going to build stuff. Definitely taking its time. These trains just look awesome. I really, really do. I freaking love Biggleswade. This is the bit I've been looking forward to. This is the highlight. Going up this little slip road. I want to see just how well this works or not. Oh, look at that. Look at that dirty train. You need a wash, mate. come on, tram. Shall I speed you up a bit? I'm going to speed him up a bit. There we go. And we got back to normal. Right, so... Oh, swing it round. Up the little slip road. That's quite cool. I like that. I'm glad I spent the time on that. It took me a while to fit that in. It's a pity that this bit isn't smooth. It's a bit janky. But I'm not going to complain about that. And there we go. And now we're round by the main kind of freight area where we've got all the deliveries. Look at that truck. Oh, it's got a smiley face on the back of it. That's brilliant. I hadn't seen that before. We're almost there. I want to see what it's like going through this tunnel. Because this was this big tunnel that I put in. Through the big hill. Biggleswade Hill. I'm gonna speed you up again to speed up this waiting. What the hell is this waiting all about? And slow you down again. And then whiz through here. Ooh, getting up to top speed. Flying along. And then into the depot once more. This is quite nice, this depot. It's quite picturesque. Almost looks like a little park. And round we go. Oh, darn it, the other tram, you lunatic. And have we got anybody waiting? Nope, not a single frickin' person waiting. Well, that's disappointing. Right, let's go and have a look around and see, have we got people waiting? And the answer is, yeah, we have. We freaking have. We've got quite a few passengers around the place. Let's have a look. What's the frequency on the line? That's what I'm kind of interested in. So this is like, what did I say? This is like line 7. So, yeah, we put 10 trams on. 80 seconds. We could do with slightly better frequency than that. Let's pop a couple more trams on. I was a bit mean. Cobras. Bye. And put them on line 7. Now I haven't coloured those, and I want to see if they get coloured. Yes, they do. Good. So that's brought the frequency down to 67 seconds. We could probably do with like one more, to be honest. So we'll put one more on. By set you on line 7. I mean, ideally the trams want to be like around 50 seconds, but 50-60 seconds is fine. Where are we? Line 7. 61 seconds. It's a touch slow. Like I could put one more on, I suppose. Go on, I'll put one more on. There we go. And line 7. So now we're down to line 7 every 57 seconds. Alrighty. Well, we need to be picking up some passengers because we've got a hell of a lot of capacity. How this is going to do in terms of like how many passengers it's going to actually move, your guess is as good as mine. We'll just have to let it run for a while and see. Now I could. Somebody was saying, oh, you should thin this out, cut this back to kind of force it to grow to this side rather than letting it expand out to the airport. But I actually kind of like the fact that it's expanding out to the airport a bit. So no, I'm not going to do that. I kind of like it doing that. Now, I think that's going to naturally hook up, which is fine. And I guess that's going to naturally hook up to this road. Should we give it a bit of a hand? I think we probably should. So what do I want? I want this, and it's insisting on using those silly roads. So, oh, come on. There we go. So we'll put that into there, and we'll hook that one up to there. Boom. And then I'll upgrade them to something more reasonable. Boom, 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 and these as well. You and you and you. There's a lot of these silly roads going in. When I say silly roads, I just mean that they're small, like ridiculously small. And I think I'm going to hook that up to there as well. Yeah, let's hook that up to there as well. Cool. Awesome. Anything grown over here? No, not yet. I really hope we get some building over here. It would be really nice to get some buildings over here. Be like an industrial park. Shall I, you know what, shall I kind of link these together? Kind of make them units. So, that one. Oh, come on, do it. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Ooh, I'd love to see a building grow there. When you like, how tempted am I to just kind of sit here with it on fast and just see if a building will grow? Oh, we've got another one. Look at, now this has got loads of bits to it. Look at that. Now, I did mention the hexagon, didn't I? I did. I suppose I should show you that in the last... I mentioned this in the last episode. Oh, I tell you what. Oh, I wanted to do this, didn't I? I wanted to put 2 depots in. We'll do that. We'll do that. So, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. If I go to multiple units, it'd be easier. And if we go down here. So, these are the TGHYR Ts. And then this is the hexagon. SDMU. This has got almost 300 capacity, top speed 186. That hexagon is that's solar powered. The reason it's called hexagon is because it's covered in little hexagons, which are supposed to be solar power. And then this thing is just supposed to be staggeringly awesome. There's one of these trains. I don't know whether it's this one. It's not this one. There's one of these futuristic trains which has got gull wing doors, right? And it's like the entire side of the train opens up. Right? How many people are going to get smacked in the face when that happens? Like, seriously. If they introduced those in... I can't imagine that's like in real life. That would just... It would hit so many people. No way. No way. I don't know how the hell we're going to use those. I guess we'll figure it out. I wanted to put 2 of these depots in, didn't I? So let's do that, because I think that'll look a tiny bit better. How am I going to get this to work? I really don't know. So, we can get from most things to most things. I mean, this services these 2 platforms, this services these 2 platforms, and these 2 platforms. So that's all cool. And does that look better? I think that looks better as 2. I don't know what you think. I think that looks better. Right. What next? What next? What more can we do? I don't know. Grow, damn it. Grow. Let's put you on fast. Grow. Quick, grow a building. It's not going to. It's not going to. It's mean. Right, let's put that away. Yeah, I tell you what we'll do. Let's put these on and let's have a look. Now that reminds me. Over here, we seem to be getting quite a lot of plastic here. But it's always around the same amount. I don't know whether it's actually holding us up. But I thought that these trains, these are the old box cars, aren't they? Yeah. With the old no-habs. I think this needs kind of sprucing up a little bit. So let's upgrade these trains. And by the way, the poll results, I did have a little look, and it did seem that the majority of you want me to upgrade some of the trains offline. We'll do a mixture. I will do some offline, and I think you're right, because I think doing it all online would get a bit repetitive after a while, because there are a lot of these trains which are just all box cars. Now let's see. This is plastic and goods. What can we do something? I don't know. Maybe a bit different. Let's see. Ashby plastic and goods. Get rid of you. So replacement. What are we going to replace this with? Well, boom. What train are we going to? What locomotive? I need to. You know what? After this episode, I'm going to go. I meant to do this before this episode. After this episode, I'm going to go and find some more freaking locomotives. Definitely. Right, so we'll use a 218 for now, but we'll get something else. So we'll have a 218 with what? Now, these things will do plastic and goods, but you know what? If we can use these the Doppelstock, if we can use the Doppelstock, then we'll use those, I think. So now this is, so it's like a 5-unit thing. So this is the front, and then you have mid 1, 2, and 3, and then the rear. So This is, yeah, plastic and goods. So, go on then, we'll do it. So if we add one of those, and then that one, and that one, and then the rear one. Yeah, I think that's right. And then we finish that off with a 218. I hope this looks good. I really do hope this looks good. Add. Right, and on and auto replace. Boom. Okay, go. So here's our first one that's going to flip around. Now the new trains will be faster because they've got better locomotives and they've got a locomotive on each end. We're going to have better capacity. This has got a capacity of 224. Be interesting to see what the new capacity is. Go. I will miss my no-habs though. I do love my no-habs. Goodbye, no-hab. You've been a faithful servant. Right, oh, look at these. Now, why have you only gone like half full? You filled it. Oh, man, these things can carry a lot. These can carry like 5, 10. Jeez. But you've only filled up with 300. Why? I don't know. The first train that upgrades always seems to like not fill up properly. Anyway, we'll let that run. We'll wait for the next one. Now, the next one that comes in. Oh, you've already upgraded. Oh, there's only 2. Is there only 2 trains on this line? Maybe there's only 2 trains on this line. Let's have a look. Vehicles. Oh no, it's 3. How did that one upgrade so quickly? I don't know. Don't know. It must have been in the station when I. Yeah, it must have been in the station when I upgraded. So you unload, load up with a new set of containers, and you should load up full. Yes. 500. Boom. And considering that this is like general goods, I think using these containers, these Doppelstock containers, God, they look good. God, they look good. I really, really like those. Look at that. Oh, look at the camera work. Oh yeah, mama. Alrighty. Okay, I'm very pleased with that now. Now, are you going to be able to cope? Now, because we're going through the tunnel, we're not going to be able to use the double heights on here. I thought I was going to do a lot of upgrading offline, and now I'm just enjoying doing it with you guys. I don't want to do all of them, but I am going to do this one because obviously we're now getting a fair amount of goods dumped over here. With this one, I think what we'll do. There's only 2 trains on here, isn't there? Yeah, there's only 2 trains. So what we'll do now, these. But these were double-headed. These are the 1042s, aren't they? Yeah, thought so. So we're going to replace you with. Let's get rid of all of these old ones. Yeah, get rid of you, and then we'll replace those with the other container ones. These ones. So. Now, I'm pretty sure this is 320, isn't it? I'm sure it's 320. So, what's the capacity on these? Yeah, these are good, big capacity. That's one too many. That's right. And then we want another. We'll carry on using the 1042s, just to haul up and down here. It's fine. There we go. There's 1042 on the end, and auto replace and replace now. Boom, 60 million. Thanks very much. Go. Oh, we just missed that one. Did the one? Yeah, this one replaced. And of course, going back up, it's going back up empty, and it's just all of these flat cars. And then when it gets to the other end, it's going to load up with loads of colourful containers. Now, the containers that are being used on these trains and these trains are from the asset pack that I used to do the stone quarry. So these ones are the ones that you're seeing, or some of the ones that you're seeing on here. So there you go. So that Hapag Lloyd. If we go over to the stone quarry, pretty sure I put that down as the first one that I used. Where's the stone quarry? I've lost it again. Oh, here it is. Should be the one on this end. Yep, Hapag Lloyd. There we go. So that's where those are coming from. Let's get back over here. Right, come on, train. Get your ass up here. Here he comes. And in you pull, and then you're going to load up with all of those containers again. These trains look, and of course I've put different sets of trucks on this line and this line, so they look different, and it's cool. Oh, this one only uses these evergreen ones. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. What do you think about that, guys? What do you think about that? I mean, I'll leave it for now, but I think I need to find an alternative to that one. Because, like, it's okay to have, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 on a train, but when it's just, like, all of that, it's kind of a bit boring, isn't it? I guess I could mix it up with some slidey door stuff, because that will haul goods. Man, it's pretty slow, isn't it? Should speed up going down there. Mind you, I'm running it on slow. There we go. Oh, now it's faster. Oh dear. How are you managing over here? Because this factory's at full capacity. It seems to be still doing just about okay. It gets up to around about 500. The train pulls in, loads up 200, and it goes down to about 300. And it's been doing that for a while. So, there we go. Loads up. And gets down to into the 300s. Pulls out. And off we go. So yeah, it's been doing that for a while. Let's see. Are you still running at max? Almost. Almost max. Are you still running at max? Yeah, you're still running at max. Okay, next. I've just upgraded this airport over here, Sedberg Airport, which took a bit of doing. Only just fitted in. I had to play around with this a while to get this to work. And I've changed. There was a tram stop, a tram station here. I've replaced that with just a bus stop because that was in the way. So having done that, I want to continue to try and get the airports working well. So this line down from Peacehaven to Tavistock basically is a violation of what I said I was going to do, like right at the beginning, which was to keep certain blocks separate. So Eastbourne, Wellington, Biggleswade, Chudley and Aspatria is one group of cities. They can be connected to each other by train. That's fine. Shepshed, Sedberg, Peacehaven can be connected together by train. Cheshire, Bognor, Settle and Maggle can be connected together. Actually, no. No, it's just Cheshire, Bognor and Settle can be connected together. Maggle can be connected to Barking and Tavistock. And then it's this group of 4 over here. Ashby, Ashton, West Ham, Tewkesbury. Which is exactly how we've got our intercity bus lines. Where's our... If I sort this by name, that would work. Which is exactly these intercity bus lines. That's exactly how they're laid out. So this line, which I spent quite a while putting in, has got to go because it's just a violation and it messes things up. And we can see that because as soon as I connected this into the city, the air traffic has dropped because people can just go from Sedberg to Tavistock via train. Well, by bus and train. So that line's got to go. It's just got to go. So what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of that. Where are we? I want TPPs. But don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to put something else instead. So let's zoom down here. Oh, too far. Too far. That's R. Oh, no, not far enough. TP. Oh, here we go. The red arrow. The red arrow's going. It's got to go. So with that done, all of this can be ripped out. So let's. Should we have the fun of ripping this out? I mean, I could have left that section in and just had trains running back. Shall I leave that section in? I have no problem with leaving that section in. Go on, we'll leave that section in. What the hell? So if I put that and that, we will have to put a little section like that so that the trains can come back out again. But the rest of the line can definitely go away. So Oh, go away. I'll delete that in a sec. Because there's a couple of other things that I want to do. Right. Pause. Okay, so currently we've got the Sedberg Tavistock Biggleswade flight. I want to change that. See, Maggle and Tavistock are part of the same group, so having two airports on the same group doesn't make sense. So we actually want to get rid of this airport and have them fly to Maggle instead. So essentially what we'll have is we've got Biggleswade to Ashton and Maggle, and then we're going to have Biggleswade to Sedberg and Maggle. That is the plan. Now, this may overwhelm the airport at Maggle, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. But it is 2 runways, so I'm thinking it will probably cope. So let's get that done. So we want Big Ted South, yeah, Big Said Tav, which apparently I can't say. So this goes, instead of going to Tavistock, right? We want to go now. I want to go always through Sedberg, so it's going to be Biggleswade, Sedberg, Maggle. And then, so hang on, Biggleswade, Sedberg, Maggle, and then back to Biggleswade. Yeah. And then we go the opposite way. So Biggleswade, Maggle, which is a nice long flight. So I'm hoping that's going to be popular. Maggle, Sedberg, and back. So that's a pretty big loop. So we'll see. We'll see if that makes any difference. So we're not using Tavistock anymore. So like I said, I was going to leave that in, but in actual fact, we're not going to be using that. So, right. So that's that. Okay, next thing. How do we promote transport? Well, what we need to do is link our cities together better. So, for example, this group, currently it's a bus ride. So if you're in Shepshed and you're thinking about going to Biggleswade, you're like, yeah, man, I've got to get the bus like to Sedberg, and it's a pain. And so what we want to do is change that situation and have a nice passenger train running around here. So what I would like to do is have the train close to the train station. So what I'm going to try and do, this should be fun, is put in elevated train stations. Let's go down here. Elevated train stations like this one. Now, I'm going to keep the trains, I think, pretty small. I mean, I'm thinking that it's going to be like 160 length. I mean, like, maybe, I don't know. I don't think I could even get a 240 in, is the issue, though. So, I think, yeah, I want without a roof. And catenary, yes. High speed, yes. And 2 tracks. That's what I want. Now, if I flip this around and get you kind of parallel, that's probably parallel. So, yeah. Now, the one thing I found playing around with these is that, you see I'm getting like bridge pillar collisions. You actually have to remove the buildings that are in the way. Otherwise, you'll get bridge pillar collisions. I'm going to remove that one as well. Now, if I try now, can I... See, now, no bridge pillar collisions. Why the buildings interfere, I really don't know. I really don't know. But what I'd like is for this to link up from here to that corner. But whether I can get it to do that, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. And I'll tell you right now, the answer is no. No, I can't. And I tried. Oh, I tried. I tried a lot for a long time. I actually, like, just before the time-lapse started, I actually cut a little section out of like 2 minutes of me desperately trying to put it in, and I just couldn't get it to fit. And it's that height difference that was problem. And I eventually bit the bullet, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to knock this down and relay the roads, because it wasn't gonna work. It wasn't gonna work. But this turned out to be a hell of a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Trying to get these tracks to go in with all the pillar collisions, oh my God, what a freaking nightmare. Like, really. You've got to remove all of the buildings. The roads get in the way. And the other thing is, I'm trying to keep the speed up. I'm trying to keep the speed over 100 miles an hour, like all the way around. And for those of you on the continent using kilometers, 100 miles an hour is what? 160 kilometers an hour, I think. Because it's like a kilometer is like 2/3 of a mile. So you've got to add like a third on. So yeah, it's about. I'm sure people will correct me and say it's 103.682 or whatever. I think it's around 160 kilometers, something like that. But the other thing that made it difficult was when you're trying to bring the tracks together, because obviously they're separated. When you're trying to bring the tracks together, you've got to do it like a very, very gradual curve. Otherwise, it drops the speed like quite dramatically because you get quite a curve. So I had to play around with that. So on that first station, I kind of figured out roughly how I was going to do it, and then I switched to the other two to get the other two stations in, so that I could start figuring out like the overall curves that I was going to need. I still can't figure out why the buildings affect this. Like, why would buildings cause... Because they just get removed. So why would they cause pillar collisions? I don't understand that. Yeah, like I said, this proved to be pretty darned tricky. But I think the end result was really worth it. I mean, the other issue that I had was like trying to get the heights like to be good and for it to be like not I didn't want it touching the ground anywhere, but at the same time I didn't want it going like really, really high. This is where I'm trying to get the speeds where the track's merging. Trying to get the speeds right. But yeah, I mean, you can see I'm having to play around quite a lot with the height because the terrain really does go up and down. It's only when you do something like this you realise just how up and down the terrain goes. And I did end up like knocking down quite a few buildings trying to get this damn thing to go in. And the problem is that you have to like knock down the buildings anticipating where you're going. Right, but then you kind of like when you actually get it in, you can then kind of change your mind, and or it doesn't quite go in, or you realise you need a bit of extra speed, or you realise how it's got to move to adapt to the next station that it's got to attach to, or whatever. I mean, it's yeah. This bit here, oh man, I struggled with this bit. I really struggled with this bit. The probably the most difficult bit is actually, well, this was probably the most difficult bit, but the second most difficult bit is coming up. But here again, I'm really struggling with the height of this, because we come round this kind of bottom curve, where the track's going now, this bottom curve, because the terrain kind of falls away, but I didn't want to have like really, really high pillars. And I'm trying to get like as close to the farm as possible, but not like on top of the farm. And see here, I've got the problem with the merging the tracks together again. So I've got to keep them separate and then have a long merge to try and keep the speed up. I'm thinking maybe we'll put some ICE 3 trains on here, the Intercity Expresses. Oh, by the way, I will thank all of you for all of the awesome information that you're always sending me. I mean, like even just little bits of things, like, because I didn't know what OBB stood for, and it's actually the Austrian Railroad. What is it, like Österreich Deutsche Bahn, I think, and then DB is DB is Deutsche Bahn, So I'm not sure what I be. It's Osterreich something barn. So yeah, but you guys sent me all kinds of little bits of trivia about this stuff, and it really helped. 'Cause the thing is, every time I learn a little bit, it's something that I can pass on to you guys, and it makes the videos a little bit more interesting, picking up all the little bits of trivia and stuff. This was a little bit of a pain. It's kind of annoying that the pillars won't adapt to the road. You kind of have to put the road in first, then then figure out where the tracks are going to go, then get rid of the road, put the tracks in, and then relay the road, and then relay the tracks. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just because I suck. I don't know. But you can see, yeah, this took a hell of... I thought that this would be like a relatively quick process. It really, really wasn't. But I'm so glad that I did it, because the end result, I think, is really nice. And I think you guys are gonna love riding around on this. Anyway, we're coming to the end. The last bit's going in. So I'll hand you back to Skye. And there it was, all done, built. Oh man. Now I've got to run round and put like all the signals on and all that kind of stuff, but that's it. And I have to say that in certain places it looks freaking insanely good. So what I'm going to do between now and the next episode, I'll put all the signals on, and I'll figure out like how on earth trains get onto here. So I'll figure out some depots, or at least one depot, and yeah, and I'll set the lines up. There'll be a clockwise and an anti-clockwise line, and then yeah, and then we'll be ready to ride it. Now I just wanted to mention that with these three, this is the nice thing about these different groups, is that we'll have the networks kind of different. So this one's going to be a halo, effectively. This is just a circular route. We'll have a clockwise and an anti-clockwise. With Cheshunt Bognor Regis Settle, it's just going to be a linear, back and forward. But with something like West Ham, Tewkesbury, Ashby, Ashton, I don't know. We might have some kind of like cross. I don't know. But I'm going to do something. I'm going to try and do something a little bit different with each one. I mean, Maggle Barking Tavistock is obviously just going to be a straightforward linear line, and the same as that one. There's kind of not much I can do there, but we could definitely do something there. I mean, we've done something different if you think about it with this, because we've got kind of a, well, it's like a Y shape, isn't it? So yeah. Next episode we'll have these trains ready to put on and go. And if you want to ride on this, and I don't know about, well, if you don't want to ride on this, you must be freaking crazy and you're watching the wrong video, which I know you're not. So come back for the next episode and we're going to ride these. And I swear to God, we are going to ride these all the freaking way round. And there's a very good chance we might ride it all the way around in both freaking directions, because this is going to be a hell of a freaking ride. And this over here actually looks pretty nice. Well, I don't know what you think, but I think actually the terrain and everything looks pretty good around here. So yeah, come back for the next episode. We'll ride the trains. Leave me your comments. I bet you're looking forward to it, because I am. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace out.